Welcome to the Trails of History podcast. Today's guest is Tyler Boland, the creator of Keeping History Alive, a YouTube channel, Facebook, and Instagram page, and with his own website, he is dedicated to preserving the voices of those who lived through some of the most defining moments in history. For example, World War II. At just 21 years old, Tyler has already interviewed more than 1,000 World War II veterans, capturing their stories before they are lost to time. He has made it his mission to document the experiences of those who fought, served, and sacrificed during the Second World War. We are honored to have Tyler with us to talk about his journey and the importance of keeping history alive for future generations. Now, let's invite Tyler and let's roll the intro.
Soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force.
We went over and we crawled. If you stood up, you were dead.
Schulden tragen den deutschen Staat, das Deutsche Reich.
What's distance, Papa? This is Delta Papa 3.
We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender.
And the recording is live. Tyler, welcome to the Trails of History podcast.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I appreciate
Good?
it. Good. I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Yeah, happy
Nice.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just got off college, you said as well, so you got to be tired, right?
Yeah, I'm tired. We had I had a presentation today, and but I'm doing good, But I'm gonna take a nap for sure later. So
Yeah, fair play.
That is good. That is good.
Cool.
So, Tyler,
Well,
we have...
go
sorry,
on,
go ahead.
Sander. I was just going to say we can get straight into it, so we don't keep you for too long. But yeah, I was just going to say about the question. So we always open with one question and close with two questions. If you've watched the previous podcast, you'll know what's coming. So if you've got anything to add, Sander, we just get straight into it.
Yeah, we can go straight into it. We don't want to waste everybody's time, right? On these
Man
guests.
needs to nap.
Yeah.
So Tyler, I think the first question we always ask everyone is, how did you get into history?
okay. I could talk about this for probably like 3 hours, but I'll give you the short and sweet version. Okay, so my mom was a history teacher. So growing up, I really liked history. When I was like 3, I could recite every single U.S. president, the years they served. So I was always really into history. And then when I kind of got older, I got into like Civil War history, American Civil War. And when I was in high school, that's kind of when I shifted towards World War II era history. Yeah, I can go into that if you want, how I got into World War II stuff.
Yes, sure, of course.
Sure.
Okay, so my great grandpa was a Marine in World War II. I never met him. He died before I was born, and I was always really curious on what he did. So when I was in 9th grade in high school, we were supposed to have a World War II vet come into the class, but the day before he was supposed to come in, he died. And I was like,
Ooh.
yeah. And I was like, darn, I was really excited to meet him. But then my grandma said, oh, my dad was a Marine. And I'm like, oh, really? And she showed me all the stuff he brought home from Peleliu and Guadalcanal.
Wow.
And and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then I found a World War II vet who was actually with him on Peleliu. And ever since then, I was like, okay, I got to do more World War II stuff. So that's how I really got into it. So, yeah.
Dude, that is crazy. So he was on Peleliu and he was on Guadalcanal.
Yeah, he was Guadalcanal, New Britain, Cape Gloucester, and Peleliu. And he got wounded twice on Peleliu, so he never made it to Okinawa.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, which maybe it was a good sign then.
Yeah, I was going to say it's probably a bit of a blessing, but that
Yeah.
those theatre or operations, you could call them, were pretty horrific. So yeah. Jesus.
Have you ever been yourself in that area already?
I actually I think it was May, I actually went to Peleliu.
You did?
Yeah, I did. It was a 42-hour trip. It was brutal. just one way. We had like 4 layovers. We had like a 3-hour boat ride to the island itself. Me and my friend Jim went, and we explored everything. And if you know anything about Peleliu, there's hardly anyone that lives there. And there's like Sherman tanks, there's Japanese Zeros everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
it's amazing. So, yeah, I was the first of my family, other than him, to be on Peleliu. So, like, I was the first, of my family to go back. Yeah, so that was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
did you
that's
feel a
incredible.
special? Did you feel a special connection when you was there? Like,
Yeah, so I brought not an original, but I made a 8x10 photo of him, in uniform and stuff, and I brought it with me. And I brought one of his original First Marine patches, and I got some cool pictures on the beach where he landed with the. It was just cool. Yeah, it was pretty special,
dude,
So.
that is awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm glad that you went to Peleliu, because usually a lot of people don't do that, right? They don't step into the footsteps of their grandfathers. And,
Right.
well, you did it. And bringing that photo with you as well, it's really symbolic,
Yeah.
right? Going to an area like
100%.
that. And,
It's
man,
quite.
that's amazing.
It's not the most accessible place to get to, right? Like you said, you were at 42 hours to travel. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a difficult place to have the forefront to visit unless you've got some serious stones behind you to make the effort to get down there. So yeah, fair play to you, mate. That's incredible.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was. Can I tell you a quick story about Peleliu?
Yeah, please,
man.
because you didn't tell me this on the bus when we were together.
Okay, so I have some 2 really good stories that are close call stories, I guess. So it was the 3rd day we were there, and we're in this jungle, and there's this giant tree that fell. So right behind this tree, there's I think it was a Navy Hellcat, like an American Navy plane, and it was crashed on, in this jungle. And we were trying to go see this plane. So my friend Jim steps over this log to see the plane, and I'm right behind him, stepping over this log. And right where my foot lands, it's half a foot away from a Japanese anti-tank mine. And we're like, whoa. In the moment,
What?
it was really cool. But looking back, I was like... So,
it was really cool. He says, "Hey, look, I almost stepped on the mine."
I mean, we've come pretty close in Verdun and the Somme when we've been poking around and found unexploded hand grenades and stuff. So I get it. You kind of get really excited, but at the same time, you're like, oh dear, let's move on.
Yeah, that was so cool. And I sent it to my parents because they were freaked out because 3 million explosives have never gone off on this island. And they were like, oh my God. So that was the first crazy story. And then the second crazy story is, I'm sure you guys already know this, but if here's Peleliu, right across the bay is this small, uninhibited island called Negasebis.
Yeah.
And that is where Eugene Sledge, knocked out that bunker and stuff, which many people think it's on Peleliu, but it's not. So we were like, this is our last day. We have to get to Negasebis to see this bunker because I have the book and everything. And to get across, we took this canoe thing over the bay. But you have 1 hour every 24 hours to get to this island because the tide drops and the bay is just mud. So it's quicksand from Peleliu to Negasebis. And 45 minutes in, we could hardly find the bunker, and then we finally found it, and we'd 15 minutes to go in it, then go all the way back to Peleliu. And right when we got to Peleliu, our boat was starting to sink, but we were able to get. It was crazy. But.
Oh man, imagine being stuck on that beach over there. From
I don't know.
Peleliu.
There's worse places to camp and really experience the eeriness, I guess.
Yeah, it was because no one lives there. It's completely abandoned. So,
dude, that's insane. Now I want to go to those theaters as well. You
I'd
see a
love
lot
to.
of videos as well of people going there. And you're you see a tank, and sometimes they bring World War II vets back there, and there was one video of a World War II vet going back to his old tank, a
He
Sherman
found
tank
his
that
tank,
he,
right?
yeah, he found his tank that he left behind. I think it was Guadalcanal or it was Peleliu. I am not so
Could have
sure,
been.
but
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was he met up with it was a Japanese vet as well, right?
yeah,
In the same,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
and the Japanese vet found his old command bunker in like a cave.
Oh, damn.
If I
That's
remember.
cool.
Yeah,
That is really cool. It's sad that we live so far away, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're slightly closer in the States, but it's still like,
Far
it's
away.
so far. Yeah.
Yeah. So we you already talked about how you got into history, but for those who might not know you yet, how did keeping history alive begin? Like, how did you make it a little bit of a company brand? Like, what started that?
So, okay. So the name itself, when I was 16, so still in high school, a World War II vet came to my house and he baked me a cake. And on the cake, it said "Keeping History Alive." So that's how I got the name.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So that's how I got the name. I kind of started the project itself. Oh boy, I think I was just a sophomore, so 10th grade in high school. I was like, I want to interview World War II vets, And when I first got started, I maybe would interview one every few months, like, because their age, and I couldn't find any, and my name wasn't out there at that time. So when I would reach out to some family of a vet, they're like, "Who the heck is this kid wanting to talk to grandpa?"
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that's when it kind of got started. And then when I was a junior in high school, I don't know why, but things kind of started to pick up. Like I would go to a nursing home down the street, and then like a week later, a nursing home would call me and say, "Oh, we heard from, the nursing home down the road that you want to meet World War II vets." Well, we got two,
wow.
and then it kind of like snowballed, and then like I would go to different like shows and stuff, meet some vets, and then after I graduated high school, it just kind of became word of mouth, and I interview probably about 2 to 3 World War II vets every week that are new. Like, yeah.
wow.
So it's just, I'm very blessed. I never would have thought that this high school project would have, turned into all this. So yeah, very fortunate, So
Yeah, it's amazing work what you are doing, and how many have you already interviewed?
I'm over 1,000 at this point.
Oh my god.
I don't
wait,
really-
hold on. Backtrack a bit. Over 1,000?
Over 1,000, yes, that I have on my hard drive at my house. Now I do not have 1,000 uploaded at all. On my Facebook, I probably post maybe one interview, probably every other week, just to keep the algorithm,
Yeah.
But like I can't post everything on Facebook because if I post 10 things a day, it won't get any traction. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have over 1,000 at this point.
So how long do these interviews usually take? Like, is it 15 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes to an hour, or?
So, that's a good question. I get asked that a lot. It all depends on the vet, really. I've had guys who unfortunately have like dementia and can't really remember a whole lot. And those are just like a couple minutes. And it's unfortunate because like, I'll do research about them and I'll know like their units, all cool stuff, but they don't remember it, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
I also talk to guys like, Jake Rooser, the medic in Philly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when I interviewed him, I think it lasted 4 hours. So
Wow.
The average is like an hour and a half, kind of, I think. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, so you're literally sitting on thousands and thousands of interviews that those stories still need to get put in the daylight.
Yes. Yeah. I don't have the exact number, so I don't want to give you, misinformation.
I genuinely,
it's over 1,000.
Go on, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I was just going to say, and Sander can attest to this, it's not very often that I'm speechless, and I just don't really know what to say to that. Like, that's a crazy number for a 21-year-old. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, yeah, fair play
Wow.
to you.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say one of the ways that I was able to get this many vets is because I live in Pennsylvania, which is right below New York, and Pennsylvania, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it has the second highest population of World War II vets in the country. I think maybe California has more, but we have the most condensed because we're a smaller state than California. My county alone, I think I counted the other day, we have 24 just in my county, which is within 20 miles, just 24 right there. So it's just, yeah, it's crazy. So yeah.
Dude, that is insane. That's actually, I did research on you, and I thought around 100, a little bit over 100, but it's actually, so I did my research completely wrong then, but it's over.
Okay.
Dude, that's insane.
You're fired.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm fired.
fired.
Yeah, we need a new host. Tyler, you want to be the new host?
Well, when I first started, that was my goal. 100 was my goal because I thought that would be impossible. I thought that would take years to do. And when I first got started, I would tell everybody, my goal is 100. My goal is 100. And that, I have probably, like I said, 2 to 3 interviews every week. Most of them are recorded. Like I said, some of them have health issues, I don't record because I don't want people to remember them like that, if you know what I mean. So I kind of gauge the situation, but I'd say 85 to 90% of the vets I met, I've recorded. But yeah, so
yeah. Dude, that is insane. Dude, I can go on and on this topic, but to be fair, but sadly we don't have all the time in the world to talk about that. Oh man, if I knew this on the bus, I would have asked you questions the whole evening.
That's okay.
So, as a college student, right? So balancing your studies and this massive project, how do you manage your time and energy to combine these two?
It's tough because, like you said, I'm a senior in college now. I have 5 courses every week, and what I try to do is I try to take all my courses in the morning, so then I have the whole day to mess around with World War II guys. But yeah, so I have class every 5 days a week. I have work 2 days a week, and I have World War II stuff. I have, I'm not in any sports right now, but I had sports. I want to be with family and stuff. So I'm busy a lot, but
yeah,
it's worth it. I enjoy doing this stuff, but
yeah, and you're still young, right? So it's energy wise, you can still manage it a bit, or
yeah, I'm 21. I'll be 22 in December. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't like staying busy, or when I hear people say oh, I'm gonna, I joke with Andy because he's oh, I'm gonna retire. I know he's never going to stop.
Yeah. You've said that multiple times already.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but it can be challenging. Sometimes it's a lot of work to try to, because, and one of the things that differentiates myself to other guys who interview vets, and I don't want to talk on anyone, on anyone. But I know some of the guys, they'll just interview them and be like, okay, thanks, and not talk to them. But what I try to do is not only do I interview them, but I try to maintain a really close relationship. So last November, I had a World War II dinner, and I had 60 World War II vets there, 60. And
wow.
I just try to do stuff with them. I have a World War II Jeep, so I go to their house and drive them around in it. So stuff like that, get them out of the house. So, yeah.
Yeah, man, that's so cool.
That's
Thanks.
so. I told you we need to get him on the podcast.
Yeah. But like I said, I'm not very often speechless, and I'm just I can't really say anything to that. I just don't know what to say,
Getting Sean speechless is, to be fair,
pretty, I'm shocked at myself.
accomplishment.
It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. So you have your World War II Jeep, right? And trying to because every veteran is different, right? So do you have to have a lot of patience because they are already, most of them are in their hundreds now, right? Some older men, some slower guys, and
so like with World War II vets, absolute youngest you can be is 98, and that's like if you got in at the tail end of it or you lied about your age. That's like 98 is like the baby, and for anyone else 98 is like mega old, you know. The average age of World War II vets that I know now is like 100 and 101. So that's very old. You know, you have to be patient with them because some of them can't hear anything. And, you know, some of the vets I interview, you know, are guys who are really well known, who are out, like Jake Rooster. You can Google his name, he comes right up. But some of the vets that I know, like, I find them and they've never told their story. Like, one guy I just interviewed 2 weeks ago, he was in the 34th Infantry Division, same regiment as Andy's grandpa's brother, but a different company. But he remembered Andy's grandfather's brother, and no one knew about this guy. So with guys like that, they haven't talked about it in 80 years. So it's almost like trying to like pry it out of them respectfully, you know. But so that way you have to be very patient and kind of ask questions because they're trying to remember, because some of them have talked about it for a long time and they know their story, but some of them are trying to tell it for the first time. So, you know.
Yeah.
But yes.
It's like sort of refreshing their own memory with the information that you already prepared for, which sort of also leads us into the next question is, how do you prepare for like a meeting with a veteran?
So, okay, you can air this if you want. So sometimes I would just show up at their houses, which I don't recommend because like I would find a vet online or whatever and be like, oh my gosh, his unit is so cool, I have to meet him. But I couldn't find a phone number or whatever. So I would just show up. Most of the time it's fine. And I've never run into any trouble where I actually got in trouble. But I don't recommend it to anybody. Don't show up at their house. What I do is to reach out, I'll either write them a handwritten letter, or I try to get in contact with a family member, because it's always easier to talk to someone younger on the phone than a World War II vet. And then what I do is I will drive out to them, or I'll do like a FaceTime, and I'll just introduce myself. I'll tell them who I am, why I got into this project, and tell them what I plan on doing with the interview. I don't make money off of YouTube. It's so small, I don't make a cent off of YouTube. I just do it to get their stories out there. I think more people will view it on YouTube than the Library of Congress. So I put it on YouTube than the Library of Congress. But yeah, so then I introduce myself, and then we schedule an interview with them so they feel more comfortable. Some young guy with curly hair up at their house, you know.
I think that works, right? That you're young and you are enthusiastic. You know your stuff as well. You know the history. So you're not just like a guy who only seen Band of Brothers and then shows up, you know. So you know your stuff. So it's sort of that combination, and your enthusiasm. You're pretty social guy, right? You can talk pretty easy with people. And I've seen you with Frank the whole week during the rifle tour, and you're so engaging. You also focus on the vet safety, which I also really saw you doing. Like the rest around it was just sort of blank for you, and then when we go to places, you were just focusing on Frank solely, which I could really appreciate, and really, that was so cool to see. And I think you have a gift. You have a gift for some sort, and there is a reason that you have done already more than 1,000 interviews with veterans. There has to be a reason.
I appreciate it. Yeah, those guys to me, and you'll hear this over and over. I mean, they are literally the greatest generation ever. Like there will never be any group like them ever again. So in the next 5 years that we have with them, and that's it. I got to do as much as I can with them, and the Jeeps, the trucks, the tanks, the planes, they'll be here in 100 years. But these guys, they're going to be gone. So just to spend time with them is, special to me, So
Just while it's at the forefront of my mind, obviously, American vets. Have you managed to interview any that aren't American, be it Canadians, British?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd say 99% of the interviews I've done are American, but I've actually interviewed. So in Pennsylvania, in southern Pennsylvania where I live, it's very German-esque here. So we call it Pennsylvania Dutch. So I can actually speak some Pennsylvania Dutch. And there's actually some German World War II vets that live in Pennsylvania. So I've interviewed maybe, it's not a lot, maybe like 4 or 5 German vets. And I've interviewed one Japanese vet who was actually born in Taiwan, I believe. And when Japan took it over, they made him a kamikaze pilot, but he obviously never hit anything. And he's out in California. So I interviewed him. So I have talked to guys from the other side, but mostly Americans. So
yeah, no, fair one. I just popped into my head that question. That wasn't one we'd actually prepared. So
I cannot believe that you talked to a kamikaze pilot.
Yeah, it was crazy. We had an interpreter there because he couldn't speak any English, but it was crazy. I'll send you guys pictures of him, and there's a picture of him in the war, like wearing like the leather hat and the goggles.
Oh, wow!
I'll send it to you. Yeah,
that's one job that you really want to be bad at.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Like you go into that thinking, I really need to suck at this job.
Yeah. Well, apparently he had 3 targets. The first 2 were called off, I guess, from what I understand. And the third one, they were actually supposed to hit ships, but he landed in the water, and then he was picked up by the U.S. Navy, and then he came to the U.S. after that. So that's kind of his story in a brief nutshell. But yeah, he sucked at his job, which is good, So.
Yeah. Oh man, we should do way more podcasts together. I want to know a lot of stories that you have. So
yeah.
Sorry, Sean.
I was just going to say
I've heard some crazy shit, So
yeah. Oh yeah, I've heard something
imagine.
I heard some on the bus.
Yeah.
When we were sitting at the back of the bus, Frank was sleeping, I think, and we had like a 2-hour drive. Was back from Belgium, I think.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. That
was or it was Overload. I don't know, but so I have another question for you. What's one thing, and maybe this is, I'm not sure if this is a hard one, but what's one thing about World War II veterans that surprised you the most and something that people might not expect? Like what surprised you the most about World War II veterans?
Well, one of the things I always say is that World War II vets are the most humble people you'll ever meet. I don't think I've ever met a vet who was like bragging or, they are so humble. I've never met a mean World War II vet. I'm sure at some point there might have been, but these guys are just so nice. They're so humble. They want you to learn. They want, and I'm not saying this just me. I'm saying this, my generation as a whole. They want us to, carry on their torch to pass on to future generations. And it's, they're just so humble and they care about the country. And I don't know, I've learned so much from World War II guys. They have taught me so many life lessons, whether that's girl advice or, any life lesson. They've changed my life. I have no idea where I'd be without them. And they just, I love those guys, and those guys are like, they're like my best friends. I'll call, Frank or whoever up on the phone, like, hey, let's go to this thing. And they'll be like, okay. So they're awesome. So.
Yeah, that's so amazing. It looks like that you're actually really dedicating your whole life to these stories of these vets and towards the vets itself. It's like absolutely amazing what you're doing, man. It's like
100%.
yeah, it's like I said, never would have thought a high school project like this would have turned into all this. I never would have thought I would have been on national TV 3 times. It's
I've
just,
seen it.
yeah, been very
And,
blessed.
and ABC News as well, like a big one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Do you want me to tell you the story how it happened, ABC?
Yeah, of course. Well, that was also a question, like the featuring several times on major outlets, right? So, what was that experience like, and how did it happen?
So I remember I was interviewing a B-25 waist gunner in Pennsylvania, and I think he was interviewed by like a newspaper, but he was never like recorded interviewed before. And I went to his house, and I think his son's friend worked for like a small little station in Pennsylvania, and they're like, "Oh, do you mind if we record it, to air?" And it's like a small little station in a corner of Pennsylvania, which maybe 100 people see. I'm like, sure, I don't care. And it was a small ABC station. I think it's ABC 27, I believe. And they aired it on a Friday. And, I was like, oh, that's nice. Local station, making sure this hero is recognized. And, I was hardly in it. I was just a small little part of a big story. And my phone from Friday night to Saturday morning was blowing up. And I wake up and I'm like, I wanted to sleep in. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I look at my phone. I had like 100 different calls. And I'm like, okay, what is going on? So these calls were like producers from ABC, like national ABC. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, Dad. And my parents didn't believe me at first. And apparently this local station reached out to the national, and they liked the story and they wanted to pick it up, and they wanted to do it about me. Now, I did not want to do it because I didn't want to make it about me, because it's not, again, I'm just a college kid with a camera, and I wanted to make it about the vets. So I said to them, I will do it as long as we can incorporate a veteran story. And they did. But the condition was you have to find a vet that you never interviewed. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have 4 hours to find a vet, and they need all the footage downloaded and send it to them by 4. And this was already 9 in the morning. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm scrambling. I'm calling everybody. There was a guy, and this was a godsend, because what I'm about to tell you is special. There was a guy 10 minutes away. He's still living. He's 102. His name is Warren. And he was in the 1st Marine Division on Guadalcanal, and he landed at the same beach as my grandpa. And he wasn't in the same regiment as my papa, but just the overall unit and the same battle was just, special. And for something to me that I got recognized for, to kind of have a piece of my pop up there, I guess, that was cool. So, yeah, that's how I got on national TV. So
yeah, well, you've been multiple times. They've reached out back to you several times again.
Yeah, they said I have all the producers' phone numbers, and they've said, well, most of them, and they said, if you have any World War II story, you let us know. And I'm like, okay. I found 2 guys from the exact same unit who live 15 minutes apart. Both have
I saw that one.
That was cool. I have one coming up that I haven't really told anybody, so you guys are like the first to know. So Russell is a 1st Infantry Division veteran, 18th Regiment, Company G. He was supposed to go with Andy and I over to on the previous trip, but unfortunately he had a little fall. But now he's, doing great. And
he's doing good?
Yeah. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, he's good. And he's coming with us in December to Bastogne. So
nice. I'm going as well, so
you'll get to meet him.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
But the story that's going to happen, well, we're working on it. So Russell lost his right arm in Germany in March of 45. And I found a veteran who was never interviewed before about a month ago. He was in the 80th Infantry Division, 319th Infantry Regiment. I forget what company. I think Company K. And he lost his left arm in France. And these 2 are probably the only World War II amputees left. And this weekend, I'm going to reunite them. And they're going to be the last 2 guys ever from World War II who lost a limb to meet each other. I'm still working on it with ABC, but if everything goes well, that'll be shared too. So,
Dude.
Oh man, that's really cool.
yeah.
Wow.
So
Now I'm a bit speechless, man. You have to know that, like, I'm from the Netherlands and Sean is from the UK. Well, Sean got a little bit later into history, and I am from the Netherlands, so we don't really have a lot of World War II veterans here like you would have in the US, right? Well, in the UK, you would as well. But for me, like, personally, it's so insane, like, having these stories being told, and especially by a young guy like you who've already talked to so many vets. We have met them all, and yeah, it's insane, man.
thank you. Yeah, it's.
I have to redo the intro for this podcast as well. I need to do the introduction way better than I did before.
Sure. Right, there's another question. I got one here. So I think we briefly touched on this, but it might be quite difficult for you considering there's been all those interviews. But what's one story or moment from an interview that stayed with you the most?
Okay, that's a good question. There's two.
You can have two. I'll let you have two. Trust me.
Thanks.
Yeah, let him have two.
Ignore the one, but do two.
So the one guy I interviewed was from upstate New York. His name was Alan Moskin. He passed away about 2 years ago now, but he was one of the first guys I've interviewed. And the very first vets I interviewed, you know, any World War II vet is my hero, regardless where they were. But they didn't have like combat intense stories, if that makes sense. And I met this Alan guy, and he was such a nice guy. He was awesome. And he was in the 71st Infantry Division, 66th Infantry Regiment, I think. Don't hold me to that. I think that's what it was. And he was the late replacement. And his best buddy, his nickname was Wilsey. I remember that. They were, I forget where they were. But anyway, they were in this battle, and, you know, shells were falling all around them, and they were in this foxhole. And all of a sudden, the shell hit right in front of them, and it blew them off their feet. And Alan fell back, and Wilsey was just disintegrated. And Wilsey had a tattoo of like a flag, an American flag, and an eagle, the bald eagle. And his arm hit Alan in the face, and he's holding up this blood-soaked arm of his best friend. And when I heard that, I was like, and this is like one of my first interviews, I was like, oh my God. So that really stuck. I mean,
what have I got myself into?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that stuck. But then I think at the same time, hearing stories like that, you know, we're all used to seeing movies and the TV shows that kind of glorify it a little bit, when really it was a horrendous, messy business. So
yeah,
when you hear it firsthand like that, that's not on a movie screen, I think the impact that has on the psyche and the mind is, it's humbling and certainly grounds you back to earth.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I don't, and you know, the young guys like myself, you know, combat stories are, you know, not awesome, but they're really cool to hear. Like, you know, it's just how were wired. But I really like some of the funny stories that they tell with meeting women over there, or, you know, stuff like that. So yeah,
boys be boys.
Yeah, boys to boys, exactly. So I've heard stories that are probably not politically correct anymore, but yeah, I've heard some really cool stuff. But another story that stuck out to me, there's so many now that are just popping into my head. Okay, one other story. This guy's named Ray Parker. He's a 17th Airborne veteran. He's 100. He'll be 101 in January. He was also a prisoner of war. He was captured on January 4th, 1945. When I recorded him, he did an interview before, but this is like the first recording, I believe, of him. And he didn't want to be interviewed, but his son was like, come on, you should do it. He's like, just tell him everything, because I want my family to know your story. You know, I want to be able to tell my grandkids what Pappy did in the war. And Ray was like, fine, I'll tell him everything. I mean, oh my gosh. So coincidentally, I interviewed him on January 4th, 2025. And we were just going through his, story. And he said, and it started snowing outside, outside. And he's like, let me tell you, this day reminds me so much of when I got captured. And I was like, yeah, it's snowing out. And he's like, in my book, you'll have the original telegram that was sent to my family when I was captured. And he's like, read it. And it said on the telegram, it said, on this day, January 4th, 1945, your son Raymond F. Parker was captured in battle. And when I interviewed him, that was coincidentally the 80th anniversary to the day that he was captured, and it was snowing outside. So that's another thing that really stuck to me.
That's incredible. What are the chances? That's mad.
You're doing
that wasn't pre-planned, right? That was just the way the dice fell.
I swear to God, it was not.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're doing God's work, right? And he's showing to you like what work you're doing. Like it's amazing, man.
I like doing these things, but I just hope people don't think I'm bragging, because it's about them. I only do this stuff, for them. I don't mind doing interviews.
Trust me. If I hear you speak, the last thing I am thinking about is you bragging. Like I want to know every story now, So it's more that I'm feeling that I'm maybe annoying towards you or towards those veterans, right? On the getting those stories, but
yeah, well, they need to be told, right? So it's incredible.
100%. Sorry, go ahead.
Can I say one thing, quick?
Yeah, of course. Okay. There's like a 1 second delay sometimes with you being in America and us being in Europe, so that's why we.
No, it's all right. That's good. One thing that's important to me, and I'll keep it quick. It's so important to me that the younger people, even younger than me, I know I'm relatively young, but teenagers and stuff, that they hear these guys, because when the World War II vets were our age, like teenagers, 20s, American Civil War vets would have been in their 90s. And that time perspective really is mind-boggling to me. But what that shows is that this is the last group of people ever to talk to World War II vets. And it's so important that the younger generation talks to them. So every month, I always vow to take World War II vets either to my school where I went to high school, or, my mom's a teacher, so I'll take them to her school. But it's so important to me to get these World War II vets to talk to the kids, because, they're the future generation of the world, and they should learn from the greatest generation of the world. So, that's something that's important to me, taking them to meet young kids. So that's the only thing I want to say. Yeah.
And this world's a bit upside down these days, so I think we could learn a lot from the past and the attitudes of those veterans. So, 100% agree with you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this literally brings me to this question. Like, do you think we as a society are doing enough to keep these stories alive?
And
you can be honest with us. I think no.
No,
I don't think so.
I don't know how to phrase this. It's not a black and white answer. It's kind of like,
true.
Like, to me, I think, like, you guys and myself, like, we're so obsessed with it, and we're constantly pumping it out, which is great. And there's a huge audience that loves World War II, and those people are really honoring these guys. But then there's a large population who don't have the education where they know anything about World War II, or they just don't care. So I think, are they being honored? Yes, because, I go to events a lot and they're being honored, but they could be honored way more. I think they could be honored way better. When I go to Europe with vets, I see how they're literally like royalty. Like, people just want to touch them, and they're like crying. You don't get that in the States. I mean, if they're wearing their hat and it says World War II vet on it, people will come up to them here and say, thank you so much, that sort of thing. But it's different. But no, I don't think it's enough. I think it could be way better recognized from these guys. But
Yeah, to be fair, in Europe, right, we were occupied, like here, literally, if I go outside, this was occupied by Nazi Germany, my street in front of me here, right? So it's a like being liberated is completely something else than being in the States where you were always safe in that sense, right? Back then, and even in Europe, I think we are doing a lot. But I think that we can do even more because, like what Sean always said, like the world is turning a little bit darker now, and that's sort of it's maybe that people are forgetting like what freedom actually means, right? The guys, those veterans who you talk to, they liberated my country, my area here from the oppression that we were under, and that is so. There's never enough you could do to pay back those people, if you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
But it can always be more than what we're doing now, in my opinion, especially with youth as well, like in schools and like what you're doing, bringing them back to schools, like that's phenomenal. But that does not happen here.
Yeah, I mean, what I think will happen, and it's a sad truth, is I think once they're all gone, people are going to be like, "Oh shit!" Like we just missed this whole opportunity, and like I think that'll happen. Like I think people are like, "Well, we just had the opportunity to meet them," and we like Andy Biggio said it perfectly in his book. When he was a kid, he had the opportunity to meet a World War I veteran, but he was playing like his video game or whatever, and I think that just sums it up perfectly. I think people will realize like, wow, but I think, like you said, since the United States wasn't technically occupied, it's slightly different, but I totally agree with you both that it could be a lot better, being honored. But I think it's more, I think more people, I think that there's more good than there is bad. I think there's more people recognizing than people who are like shaming them, I guess, but it should be more, but yeah, so.
Have you ever encountered somebody trying to talk down on the veteran or shaming them or?
I have, and it was actually recently. It's crazy. It was literally last week, and this is like one of the first times it's ever happened. I was in a Halloween parade in Pennsylvania, and I had my Jeep. I had two vets, World War II vets. We went through this parade, and some guy pulled up next to us and said, I think he said, and please don't stitch this. I'm not saying this. People said, like, someone said, "See Heil," like for Hitler, and he drove off, and the vets were just kind of like, they were just disappointed, and that was like one of the first times I've ever encountered something. But that was last week, so it was it's crazy.
A dumbass.
Yeah.
I would just want to pull him out of the car and just kindly talk to him, right?
And I think that's just it's lack of education on the subject. To him, he probably found that hilarious. But do you know what I mean? It's just being a dumbass for the sake of it. But he doesn't know the impact that could have on people, and especially those vets, right?
Yeah.
It's we have a lot of dumb people. There's a lot of dumb people in America. There's a lot of dumb people in Europe. There are dumb people everywhere, so you're never gonna get that away, right?
Yeah.
And I think now we live in such a comfortable time that once it gets uncomfortable, people have more respect to each other. Like you could see it in America, for example, when 9/11 happened. You saw how the nation came together. Right. Something really bad happened, was uncomfortable, and everybody came together. And now it's just so. Yeah,
I think that's something with like humans in general, though. It takes like a great disaster from a high level to bring a country together. But then you could boil that back down to like a family level. Like I've got family all over the UK, but we only get together at a funeral, And I think that's reflective on everything in life, from a global scale right down to a country to local. But
yeah. I think we're very divided here in the States right now. I might lean conservative, but I don't not get along with people who disagree with me. I try to, I try to be fair to everybody. Like most of the vets I know lean left, and I don't have any problem with them, So I think it's like we're very divided right now, and that's a big problem. But I think at some point it will get better, over time. But we'll see, But I
But
think
100%. It's the
yeah,
same in Europe. It's exactly the same. Like America always is the leading country in the whole West, right? And then
Yeah.
Europe sort of falls behind. But now it's sort of going up the same. And it's exactly the same here in Europe. Like I'm also more to the right than I am to the left. And I can, with some of my friends, like two of my friends are like more to the left, and we can agree with each other that we disagree, and then we'll have a beer in the city and like in the pub, and then we'll have fun or play games and stuff like that. But it's just you see a lot of like I said, the polarization in between. And I hope, like with veterans and stuff and history, that sort of brings people together, right? Like going to a classroom, showing with veteran, and then everybody is together on that story, and that's also sort of history. Sort of gives connections.
Yeah,
and I think indeed we should do that more.
It'll get better at some point.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
hopefully. So how does it feel knowing that your videos might actually be the last recording memories of these veterans and that millions of people have watched them? Like, how is that feeling that you have that last voice of them?
That's a bit of a somber question, but it's realistic, right?
Right.
Like you said, you've probably got like a 5-year window now.
Yeah. When you say now somber, like I'm Dutch, right? So the language barrier.
No, it's a great question.
Really
it's just more for context,
Yeah.
You can't sugarcoat a question like that. It is what it is.
Right. No, it's a good question. I don't think I was ever asked that before. There was a vet I interviewed. Oh, this was a while ago, where I interviewed him. Like, I don't know, it was some morning, and then the next night he died. And and it was like, obviously I sent the family the recording I did of it. But yeah, I mean, these stories, like that's the prime example. I mean, that was the last time he was ever, photographed or, videotaped. And I don't know, it's surreal. But the positive side to that is when I do interviews, like the family will say to me all the time, "Oh, can we be there? Because we don't know what Grandpa did in Europe or whatever." And after the interviews, they'll be like, "We never knew any of that about Grandpa." So that is really cool to me. I love seeing like the family, they just, stuff like that's really cool. I don't know if that answered your question or not.
Yeah, so 100%, right?
Yeah, it does.
Because also the question is also what you said, John, is also a bit somber, but also is how does it feel knowing that your videos might be the last recorded? Which, if you backtrack a bit, if you did not do this, then it wouldn't even, all those stories would have been lost, right?
Lost to time.
To time, yeah. And you have all those memories still on tape to share with people and telling their stories, which is not somber, which is absolutely beautiful in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I'm proud of it. Again, I don't like to brag. It's just, it's cool, to know, once you leave their house, you're like, wow, like, when they're not here, their voices will still be told. And that's cool to me. There's one guy who I interviewed. He's no longer with us. His name was James Connor. He was in the 1st Marine Division, like my pop-up on Peleliu, 3 Purple Hearts. And his house burned down, and he had nothing of World War II left. Nothing. And when I recorded him, that was the first time he was ever interviewed. And then a couple months later, he died. But when I interviewed him, that recording you can still see it. And it's like his family knows what, Jim Connor did in World War II. So stuff like that's cool, so.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a lot of, after those news outlets that came out, those news reports from ABC and some other stuff, when you have like a viral video on Facebook, do you get a lot of emails, messages from, hey, I got my grandfather here, and hey, I got this? So
it's
a lot.
Oh my gosh, when I'm on ABC, like let's say it airs at 6:00 at night, from 6:00 to the next morning, I'll probably have 100 emails. It's insane. Like my phone, I remember the last time I was on ABC, we went out to dinner and I had to turn my phone off because it would like brr, 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 like vibrate.
Need to get yourself an assistant.
Yeah, it's insane. That I like being on ABC because, like you said, it doesn't get me notoriety, but it gets my name out there, and people from all over the country will say, "Hey, my dad's a World War II vet." You know, I'm flying out to Texas and Florida and California all before Christmas on guys who've never told their story before. Yeah, it's crazy. When, like I said, when I first got to Europe this past trip, I was at like 2,000 followers on Facebook. I'll hit 70,000 by tonight. Like it's
insane, right?
It's crazy.
Wait, by tonight?
Oh yeah,
a day or two ago, I looked and you had 67.
Yeah, it'll hit 70.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's insane. It's crazy.
You deserve it, man. You deserve way more.
Yeah, you really do.
You deserve millions, in my opinion. Like, dude, everybody should watch these type of videos.
We talk about the test of time, though. Like, that's always there. So 10, 15, 20, 30 years' time, when the next generation of 19, 20-year-olds, if there's the interest in history still there, it's always on the internet, right? It's always there for people to learn from and go back and experience. So that will stand the test of time. So I don't think you'd ever not stop growing. You keep doing what you're doing.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Have you thought about, because you have this project, right? Have you thought about maybe doing something maybe what Andy does a bit? Well, he does it with the signatures on the rifle. But do you have something else that of course you do the interviews, but also something like, is there some ways that you thought about maybe getting your reach out more, like letting these more people know about these stories than only videos?
I have a helmet. It's a World War II helmet.
You brought it with you, right?
Yes.
On the trip, yeah.
I can't even give you an exact number because it's so squished together, the names. But I think I have about 300 names on that helmet, somewhere around there. And I did that started a year or two ago. I have all these guys sign it, but I get a picture of them wearing the helmet on their head.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, every single one, I have a picture of them wearing it. And I will, and this is totally copying Andy. So Andy, if you see this, I'm sorry, but eventually I will write a book about everyone who put the helmet on their head.
Yeah.
You know, but not until I'm done with school, because I have no time to do that. But yeah,
I did actually have that as a little bonus question in my head if you're ever going to do a book or anything. So that'd be a cool idea. But yeah, worry about your studies first for sure.
Yeah. So it'll come out, within the next 5 years, hopefully. But
you have still so much time to do it, right? Although the veterans, right? But keep the interviewing, and then after 5 years, you have all the time in the world to process everything into books, videos, get it out there, and I think even archives would drool with thinking of all those interviews that you have.
Yeah, and like one of the things I'll say, and it's not a competition at all. I think something that got me motivated was, I'm not going to say the group. Someone at some big World War II group, when I first got started, and I asked them, can I talk to a World War II vets? I'd love to talk to them. This is when I first got started. I remember it so well. They said, we don't have time right now to help a high schooler meet World War II vets. And I was like, got it. And now
that started the fire.
And now that same group reaches out to me for World War II vets.
That's perfect.
Yeah, boy.
But I'm not going to name drop. I don't.
No. But it's fun for yourself, right? It was the same with me with YouTube. Like in the beginning, when I had 100 subscribers, there was one guy who really laughed at me and literally said, "Why are you doing this? You're such a nerd." And then I all of a sudden had 30,000 subscribers, and I saw him in the gym, and he was looking at my social media. And he was like, "Dude, you have 30,000. How cool is that?" And I was like, "Dude, you were one of the reasons that I actually kept going." Right?
Yep. Your biggest I guess not competition, but your biggest criticizers, they actually help you in a way. you know.
100%. Yeah.
So.
So, okay. We are getting to the last two questions because it's already been an hour. Can you believe it?
Went fast, yeah.
Going quick.
Oh, it's always goes so quick, man. We should do in the future another one, Tyler, if you're down for that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Talk about maybe some individual stories of veterans and maybe your trip to Peleliu. That would be a cool one.
Yeah, I'd love to.
If you stepped on a Japanese landmine, then probably a lot of interesting things happened on that trip. Sean, do you want to do the first one?
Yeah. So yeah, like I said before, we always close with these final two. So if you can sit down with one person from history, who would it be and why? And what do you think you'd say to them?
Oh,
can be anyone.
It doesn't have to be military either. Just a figure from history.
Can be a veteran as well that you.
I know exactly who. It's gonna be my grandpa because I never met him, and I did this whole project in honor of him, and I would want to know what he thinks of all of it. I just, if I could have 5 minutes with anyone from history, it would be my grandpa, to talk to him, to tell him all that I've accomplished in honor of him, because everywhere I go and everything I do to promote this, I not only promote what I started, but I promote him as well. He's been on magazines and TV, and he's been gone for 30 years. So I'd want to meet him because that would be really cool.
Well, I can assure you now that your grandfather would be very proud of what you've achieved. 100%.
I appreciate it. Yeah,
100%. I've only met you once, and I'm absolutely proud of what you're doing, man. Like, even though I'm only 5 or 6 years older than you, it's still, man, it's absolutely amazing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
absolutely great.
I'll be 40 next year, and I'm astounded. Quite frankly, so, yeah, I think if for the kids younger than me growing up now, if there's a few more people like you in the world, then there is hope after all.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, that was nice. That was a nice words. Well, okay. The last question, I would say last question, but it's the second to last question.
Okay.
If you could observe one historic event, what would it be? And then it can be with like a drone aerial view of like maybe a battle, maybe an historic event. It could be anything.
I don't even know. Maybe this is not World War II at all. Maybe the Boston Tea Party. I know that might hurt Sean's feelings.
It is what it is. JD got stabbed a little bit on the last podcast, so I expect it.
Yeah, maybe the Boston Tea Party, because I don't know, it always seems like kind of comical to me. So I'd like to see that. I don't know. I've never been asked that before.
It's a
good
one.
question, right?
People out.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's a good one. The Boston Tea. So, Sean, you see that with different people, like the answers really are so different.
Yeah.
One person says like, "Oh, I want to see the Battle of Normandy." The other one says, "Oh, I want to see Jesus Christ in there." And then you said the Boston Tea Party, and JD said something else. It's just so cool that everybody has their different interests in to see just one.
Well, now I feel bad. I forgot about Jesus Christ, and I said the Boston Tea Party. But
no. But usually when people say Jesus Christ, that's mostly expected of religious people, right? And I love it if people go outside of that, because if you would have said that, I would have said and also outside of ancient religion or of religion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And ancient times. Yeah, that's a good answer. So what is coming up on your channel and the Facebook? Because before you answer, that last video you did, dude. You sent it to me, right? Oh, and you said to me, "Oh, yeah, I'm sure you would like it." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, let's see one of your first videos that you ever made." Dude, it was actually really good. But have you made videos before, like editing and stuff? Because
so that was my first video that I included myself. Like all the videos I have on YouTube are just the veteran talking, and like it has footage of World War II, but that's it. It's just them, and I cut myself out. But what I started doing is I started uploading shorts, and it has my voice in it, and it got a lot of likes. And it's not because of my voice, but people don't mind it because I don't have the best voice in the world. It's kind of high pitched. But I was like, my dad was like, "You do a lot of work. Why don't you get in a video?" And I was like, okay. And I knew I had this tank ride coming up, so that's when I incorporated myself, and it turned out really good, and I'm proud of that.
it was
Yeah, I have you asked what I have coming up. I have. Okay, this is also unknown. I'm taking the 17th Airborne guy who I told you about. I'm taking him. It's not for another month. We're flying in a C-47, and that's the first time he'll be in a C-47 since World War II, and we're actually going to fly in it.
That's
so that'll
incredible.
be cool. Yeah, so that's coming up. So
I want to go in a C-47.
Yeah, I wish that was your next door neighbor, and we would be good friends, and then I could help you with this project, dude. It's just insane.
Yeah, it's been a good run, So
it's still not over.
No, it's not over. I'm gonna keep doing it as long as they're here. So
yeah, dude. Like I'm just gonna tell you now, and even though if it's on the podcast, I don't care. If you need any help with anything from abroad or I don't know, editing wise, just dude, hit me up, right? Okay. I don't need anything for it. I really want to help you with this. Like if you need even if it's a small thing, if it's big, I don't care. Like if you need any help, just ask me and I will definitely help you because like you said as well, in 5 years, it's done. And then people will realize once it's gone, they will realize that they miss it, right?
Yeah. Yep. No, I'll hit you up because it takes me about 50 hours to edit a video. Dude, so yeah.
Send it to me.
I will.
I'll help you. Trust me.
Sweet.
All right. Yeah, sweet. Sean, do you have anything to ask Ed?
I do have it's another question, slight backtrack, I think. But obviously we're talking about the World War II veterans and the 5-year gap.
Mm.
Would you consider carrying that on to maybe Korean War veterans, Vietnam veterans?
That question I get asked all the time, and it's a good question. I know Andy Biggio is kind of starting the Vietnam chapter, and people ask me that. The answer, truthfully, is probably not. I respect any veteran. If I see a vet wearing a hat or whatever, and it says vet, I always say thank you so much. But I have a personal connection to World War II, as do many people, because World War II impacted millions of people. But with Korea and Vietnam, I don't know almost anything about it. Like, I'm not educated on the subject. It doesn't have a family connection to me. And I feel bad because those guys, they couldn't control, what conflict they served in. It has nothing to do with against them. But I feel like I'd be doing a disservice since I'm not interested in the topic to try and force myself to do it. So as of right now, I would say no. But in 5-10 years and all the World War II guys are gone and maybe I get into Vietnam or whatever, who knows? I might. But I'd say as of right now, the answer is probably no. I think once World War II's vets are gone, I'll still edit their videos, but I think that'll probably be it. But again, who knows?
You answered that so well.
Yeah, good, honest answer, and that's the best way to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, Tyler, I really want to thank you for sharing your story here. Like, I'm just flabbergasted. Like getting to know you a little bit more. If I knew this before, we would have talked hours on the bus. That would be very annoying.
You are a really cool dude, Tyler, and I truly hope that we get to meet up one day and I'll buy you a beer.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I had a great time talking with you guys. And if you want me to come on again, let me know. I'd be happy to do it.
Dude, 100%. There's so much more that we need to talk about. And as well, I'll see you in December. So yeah, that's going to be a fun time.
Cool.
All right. Tyler, thank you. Where can people find you? KeepingHistoryAlive.com.org?
KeepingHistoryAlive.org. And my Facebook and my YouTube channel is called Keeping History Alive. So.
Okay.
We'll put that in the description anyway, right? So
yeah, of course. But I almost forgot to ask you that. All right, man. We always end the recording with a salute. So thanks, Tyler. And we'll see you guys next time.